What'd you think about
And that's
the leak there, OJ? Anything good out of it that you're looking at?
yeah, I mean, I thought it was interesting. In terms of like you're talking about like the leak with like all the stuff that could have been with the Switch,
Yeah,
or
yeah, like the fact that it looked like there was gonna be mostly a handheld.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm glad they didn't do it though. I'll be honest. Like, I'm glad they didn't do it just because I think that what we got with the Switch was a much better product with what they were doing there. You know, with because like what they were going for, I doubt that we would have been able to get the type of games that we're even getting. I know they're not as like Nate was saying, they're not quite as good in terms of like the graphics and stuff, which we know like Doom Eternal. I don't think they would have been able to get that type of stuff and get like the engines running and everything. So I'm glad they didn't go with that. But I thought it was very like interesting what it could have been. I thought it was kind
Yeah,
of cool what it could have been. I mean, if it was a true successor to the 3DS, what type of games would come to it? They probably could make games quicker on there. I mean, there might be a faster flow of games. I'm not really sure, but either way, I thought it was interesting. I thought it was fun just to kind of see what it was. But ultimately, I'm kind of glad we got like the Switch concept, and it seems like to Nate's point a little bit, it does seem like Nintendo might do something pretty crazy with their next one, with the next Switch line, considering what Furukawa had to say. You know, in terms of like what they're developing, like high-end tech or whatever the
hmm
case is. So yeah, man. I think it kind of showed them because once you have something that's successful, you want to make sure that you continue doing that. Like, I mean, I know Nintendo kind of likes to change things up, but let's just be real here. Anything that's been a home console, this is their first real home console success that's stable since the Wii. And even with the Wii, man, they kind of knew themselves that wasn't gonna last.
well, they,
You
they
know?
knew they knew the audience they had that made them get to 100 million. This the Switches is completely different.
Exactly. So now you actually have like a core base of fans and like extended core base of fans, that that like that type of system. So I think it works better like now going forward. It works better because you can still get those same fans because a lot of gamers kind of want the same thing over and over. Like that's
hmm
why PlayStation does so well. It's literally just take the same thing. They just say, well, let's just make it better. So I think you can kind of do that with the Switch too. Just kind of take that and just make it a bit better, but also add in some new things too to kind of get people in, like whatever Nintendo stuff they're gonna add to stuff. HD Rumble, they
Sure.
did that or whatever.
Just refine it. Yep. Is that what you're thinking, Nate? More refinements and kind of beefing up the Switch a bit going forward over the next generation or two.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to beef it up. I mean, if we're looking at the inevitable successor, if you could get something even around a PlayStation 4 Pro, that's going to be enough to really bridge the gap with these next gen systems. Because picture a PlayStation Pro in portable form.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pretty crazy. And I just don't want to see Nintendo do that thing that they did like after the Wii, going to the Wii U of like, hey, we just have to innovate with this weird way. And because we're Nintendo, you're going to come to us like, no, when you come with the Switch 2 and you remain a hybrid, you can't become relaxed with it. We want to see those big third-party games. Like Resident Evil Village. We want that to look great on the Switch as well. We don't want a version that looks terrible. You have to get as many third parties as you can, and you did great on the Switch in courting them over, and you have to maintain that moving forward into the next system. And if they can do that, you're going to get a lot of that audience who has a Switch or bought into a Switch to play like the Mortal Kombat 11s. They'll continue to, remain in your ecosystem. You just can't assume that they're going to be there by releasing the exact same concept, but becoming relaxed and not pursuing power. They don't have to chase the exact power that the Series X or even Series S have. You just have to make sure you're close enough that the engine compatibility is there. You still have a good resolution, you have good performance. And I think NVIDIA is the perfect partner for them there because NVIDIA knows how to do this. This is what their specialty is. And I think NVIDIA will kind of strong arm Nintendo and say, this is the direction we're going. You need our technology.
That
So if this
they're
is what we have, this is what you're going to use.
Nintendo's gonna do something weird and like go off somewhere else and like use some random chip or AMD or something and
Oh,
just start from
God.
scratch. Something
If
random.
they
You know what they're gonna do? This is what they're gonna do. All right, so in 3 years they're gonna reveal that the next Switch has two screens instead of one.
You can take the top screen off and make it a
Yes,
TV.
you
It's
take the
4
top
inches
screen
at the
off.
side.
No, you take the
Yeah.
top screen off. You put the bottom screen in the dock, and then you have a two-screen experience so that you play. That's what they're gonna do something weird like that. Watch.
I'm
Oh
ready. I'm ready.
no.
It's always the concern with Nintendo where they just change something for no reason whatsoever. It's like now the Switch 2 is a controller and you plug it into your phone. Like why?
No, what they should do is they should bring in some sort of cell service to it so you have data
Oh,
on the go.
Yeah, that didn't work that good for the Vita. When
Yeah.
I still remember that E3 conference when Sony came out. We have 3G with the Vita, and you can get it from AT&T.
Yeah, but it's
and the
3G.
whole conference.
Yeah, that
laughed.
was 3G, and it was AT&T.
That was good at the time.
No, it wasn't. AT&T was never good.
I mean, now even then we were talking about 4G because I remember the Thunderbolt came out because we made fun of it because it got like 45 minutes on when you had 4G on. But we've advanced to the point now where you could have a 4G like set of 4G radios and stuff in there, and you could have it unlocked or something, and just be like, we'll offer these services on our website, or we tie it into your online service and we charge you more money, and like they'd get more money out of people that way, and they'd partner with different cell companies if they wanted to. That's, I think, the next step for them if they really want to get serious is beefed up hardware and a way to basically connect wherever you are so that you're just always connected.
I mean, it'd be good because then if you do have that type of service, if I'm Nintendo at that point, I'm going to Microsoft and say, I want Game Pass.
Exactly.
Because I want to be able to play Halo Infinite at the park. Though I could use my phone with Game Pass at that point, so I don't need a Switch. But maybe I just want it for the controller.
The
or
controller.
better
Physical
screen.
controls. Yeah, exactly.
And then like it would work for Nintendo's favor there. And it's always, Nintendo always does something weird. Like all of a sudden the next gen Switch, they're like, you can't play any of your old Switch games. Like, why?
I think that I think that'll be pretty straightforward there. I feel like the cartridges won't change much in shape. They might change in like color or something just to make it obvious that it's the new Switch or something. Maybe they'll just be like red cartridge. I don't know, something. But
Game cart size is going to be the bigger concern I would see them moving forward. Because if game
yes.
sizes are inflating, I'm not buying it. Like 64 gigabyte game cards are still insanely expensive. I can't even imagine what a 128 would cost.
I feel like they'll get a little cheaper over the next couple of years by the time we're talking about the next Switch, and they'll probably hopefully have that figured out. Because I think they can get away with 64 gigabyte cartridges, starting into going into the next generation with what they do with compression and all of that. I think they'd be able to at least figure it out to where it'll make it feasible. But if it's like I said, if they can get that's what I'm thinking. If they can get the system connected from anywhere as a handheld, and they get Microsoft on board with Game Pass as an option, and you can pick your own cell service. You don't have to go through like AT&T specifically. I think that's a pretty cool idea to jump forward with that.
But why wouldn't, I mean, I get that, maybe doing that, but like, can't you like, I've tethered my phone. I guess that's kind of clunkier, but and it works really well. Like if you, you just tether your phone to the Switch or to tether it to whatever platform, 3DS or whatever the case, and it works extremely well. And you already pay for your cell service.
I did Splatoon 2 online matches tethered. Totally fine.
Yep, I think the idea
I get it having built in though. I understand that.
Yeah, I think the idea that people would get at there is like try to make it all in one, so you don't have to leave the Switch to do so. That's why people talk about voice chat. They're like, we can use Discord, but I get the idea is we're trying to make it so you don't have to leave, because once you leave the Switch, who knows what you're gonna you're gonna go buy something over here or something. Who knows? That's the idea. They want to keep you on the platform, I guess, as much as they can. But yeah, I mean, tethering does work. It's just one thing to be like, oh, it already works. I'm good.
I get
just try to.
Maybe a lot of gamers are very hesitant. What I've noticed, like whenever they talk about like cell phone and data, how gamers get, they already immediately take a step back,
Yeah. Yep. But I would make it so that you can only download big games on Wi-Fi. It's just for playing over the internet, really all I think of there. But just, I don't know, something they could do that a high refresh screen, higher resolution screen, those kind of things they could do.
I mean, Nintendo's always that company we can look at and say this is exciting for them to get new hardware because there's so many areas they can improve upon. Like we can look at the Switch right now. It needs voice chat. It needs a messaging system. It needs a friends list that actually has purpose beyond just showing me what my friend is playing. It needs a better invite system that isn't limited to select games.
Are we allowed to have folders?
Maybe.
No.
Is that next gen? That's next gen.
Yeah, folders, themes, music on the eShop. There's so many areas that they
music on the eShop is not.
They had good music.
Play whatever music you want.
They had good music.
Music on the eShop.
That is not a feature that that's like next gen. There's music on the eShop.
Good.
Hey, if Nintendo has to allocate more RAM for that, they have to make it happen.
You can play whatever music you want when you turn on the eShop, right? You can literally play whatever the hell you want on a phone or on anything you want.
For me, I don't go into a store and there's just dead silent. They have a radio or something.
You do that all the time on Xbox, and you do that all the time on PlayStation. There's no music running in the background on those stores.
Nintendo made it music. They made it happy. They made it like, yeah, I'm going to the store to buy some games. And on the Switch, just fuck you.
There's no music on other systems.
We're gonna make this just discoverability terrible. We're gonna slow down
gosh.
the eShop on Christmas, so you can't even buy your games.
They it'll be interesting. I don't know. A couple years we'll see what Nintendo has for us there. But who knows? Maybe next year we'll see a revision, see what plans they have for that. So interesting stuff there.